are introducing you today to a woman who has had quite a journey, and her name is Britton, and she became a quadriplegic after an inexplicable medical incident back in May of 1999. Michelle, welcome to the show. Also joining us today is her dad, Gordon, sitting next to her, and Linda Ross, Okanagan author, who has made it some of her hard work to put together this book called Silent Journey, and this is the story of Michelle. So you guys, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So interestingly, it is May. It was May of 1999 when this began. Michelle was attending UVic, going after a commerce degree, well-traveled, off to the bookstore with her sister. She was going to the clinic. What happened after that, Gordon?
She started to back the truck up and realized she had something inexplicable happening to her, so she honked the horn, and her sister, who was working in the UVic bookstore, came out and got involved with her. Someone phoned 911, and away it went from there, off to hospital by ambulance.
So this has resulted then in a full paralysis situation for Michelle. What I don't understand is how something like this, which sounds like it was something like a seizure, but I could be wrong, how did that transpire into becoming a situation where Michelle is now quadriplegic?
Well, in effect, this spontaneous arterial dissection is in simple terms a stroke. And in her brainstem area, it affected her with the blood spilling out. And she was in coma, I guess, for 2 days, Chalet, in ICU in Victoria General Hospital. And we thought we might lose her, actually. But finally, she came out of it, and after a few days, they determined that it was indeed an arterial dissection, which is not very common. The neurologist at the time had only had about 4 cases in his career. So it took quite a while to figure out what it was.
14 years later, I know that Michelle is doing very well. I understand that, Michelle, you live in Vernon, you live in a townhouse, and you've chosen this way because you want to be as interactive with life as you can be. And facilities that can offer you care may not be necessarily as fulfilling for you, because sometimes those people may not be 38 years old as you are, right? So I salute you. And I also want to take a few minutes to talk about your book, Linda. You have written on behalf of Michelle's life. How did this come to be? Why did you make this a goal to write this book?
Well, I've always wanted to write a book about somebody's story, a biography, but it had to be somebody really interesting. And I met Shell by chance through a friend of mine, and when I met her, I just thought, this is incredible. This is incredible, this life that this girl has and what she's doing with it. And it was so inspiring, and I thought, she's the one. This is the one I have to write the book about. And so Michelle and I actually emailed back and forth for about 2 years. This is how I gathered information.
Right.
And then I interviewed all sorts of people, her family, her friends, caregivers, hospital people. I got a hold of her medical records from the incident. And then I just put it all together like a puzzle and wrote her story.
And we have some pictures that we can show that were taken from the book. This is a shot of you, Michelle, when you were up skiing at what was then Todd Mountain. I too skied on that hill before it became Sun Peaks. And these are some shots of you, I take it, at a marina. It's neat to see the documentation from before to after. And so we're going through these pictures. This one at a townhouse in Victoria. And this is, I understand, the first hospital room at Victoria General Hospital after Michelle's 25th birthday. And then these shots, of course, after the incident took place. Gordon, speaking for Michelle, can you sort of give us the understanding of the fact that for Michelle, it's not that this is a death sentence. Life goes on. Michelle is an inspiration to others.
Yeah, I said to Michelle not too long ago,
there she is, living it up in Mexico. Look at all the guys hanging out.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well done.
Been to Mexico, been to Vegas since this happened.
Yeah.
I said to her, how do you handle this? You know, you're not depressed, you're not down, you keep going. She said, well, what else am I supposed to do?
Right.
I'm like this, and I got to make the best of it. And she does, and that's kind of the inspiration for many people, is the fact that she can see hope and progress in it all, and enjoy life, and find things that really keep her going.
Gordon, you phoned me up and said, I have a story idea. I'd like to appear on Midday, because you want to lend some awareness to what it means to go through a transition like this in your life, because it's, of course, it's affected Michelle, number one, but for the whole family, and it's become a huge education for everybody, I'm sure.
Certainly has. I'm a retired educator, and people say, well, do you still have contact with that? I said, no, I've become really engrossed in the healthcare system through my daughter's predicament. And so we've been, for 14 years, it's hard to believe, engrossed in trying to support her and help her with life as best we can. And her sister is an important part of her life. They're almost like twins. They're just 18 months apart. And her sister is just insistent in working and being with Michelle and supporting her in every endeavor. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. And we thank Linda for having the interest and the drive to put a whole book together.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's
a novel-length book. Yeah.
And a great awareness piece for people who may be going through a similar struggle in their lives. Linda, we have on the screen, or will have in a minute, the contact information for people who would like to order this book. I understand it can be ordered through any bookstore. Any other message that you would like to get about this book?
Well, from what I've heard, it's a good read. Everybody tells me they love it.
Yes.
And it's just a really, really good story, and it's very, very inspiring. We as women are never going to worry about a bad hair day again after you read a story like this.
And isn't that the truth? It is so.
Puts things in perspective.
Absolutely. The information is on the screen as well. Gordon's email address, if you would like to get a hold of him, it's g.britton@shaw.ca. Michelle, Gordon, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
It's an excellent story of inspiration. I'm honored to be able to share it with you. And Linda, congratulations to you for taking the time to do something that has so much meaning. You're welcome. We will take a quick 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll have the full weekend weather forecast. Things are looking up and much more. Stay with us.